I would also remind everyone that the prices are going to like double, triple. Like if you are considering it at all, absolutely.
They're not going to be like, we need to book. So they're booking.
They're booking. Yeah, they're booking. Yep.
Because people who like cruises, they've been dying. They've been waiting and going.
Yeah, they're booking. Right now they're still at like half capacity just because they don't want any like crazy outbreaks. And I always like to remind people that, you know, there is no other place that I know of that you have to be like 100% of the people are vaccinated. You get tested before you even walk on board. That those two things alone don't happen. Not that I'm anywhere. I'm not even sure if these are the right way to do things, but I think that that's what most people want. And that's the only place that they do it. Plus they run around cleaning after you, and they have, you know, the highest USPH health standards possibly ever. There's no cleaner place, no restaurant, no office, no
I said that
hotel, no resort. So when people go, oh, I don't want to go on a cruise ship, I'm like, do you even go out to eat? Because if you do, then...
Well, I was saying that at least over the last 6 months, some people are like, oh my God, you're flying and whatever. It's never been cleaner and safer to fly.
Yeah.
Disney World, I mean, even if you want to get down into the Chuck E. Cheese level of stuff, things have never been. Now, I'm not sure it's good for us to be lapping up all this cleaner too, health-wise. Right,
I agree with you there too.
That's another different podcast.
Yeah.
But in terms of the precautions and the, you know, if you want to walk around with a black light, things have never been better.
Right, absolutely.
And I think cruises know they are on high alert. And
they are. They're the only people that they're really testing like crazy. Nobody else is testing anybody at a resort, like or the airports.
We brought up the casino thing. My first time I learned about gambling, I was 11 years old, and I was on the QE2, the Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh my gosh, I've been on that ship. The one that's retired.
It's retired now.
Yes,
I sailed from Southampton, England to New York City. It was amazing. I'm 11 years old, and I walked through what is this place with all the bells and the lights? And somebody gave me a quarter, and I put it in a slot machine, and I won $1, and that changed my life, not in a good way.
Great. That's a great story. Oh, boy,
I'm like,
I'm so
what is
sorry.
this? And they're like, it's called gambling.
It's bad. Yeah. Oh boy, it's too bad you won. I mean, if you didn't win, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad.
That
token economy.
They that and buffets. That's how I introduced to two things that I shouldn't be involved in. I got a lot more questions. We're here with Shelby Frenette. We got to take a quick break so we can get some more quarters for the slot machine. We will be back right after this. And we are back. We're talking love boats and all kinds of things. So somebody signs up for a cruise themselves. Should they plan out their sort of activities and itinerary before, or should they get on the boat and get a feel for it? I mean, how do you recommend?
If you're asking me if I would advise solo traveling, like really solo traveling, I absolutely do not. I am one of the only people, and I don't like to take sides on stuff. I like to hit the fence a lot because I just don't.
Great love debate. Take a side.
Yeah, I can't think of anything worse than going alone by myself on a cruise. It's really
purely alone.
Yeah, it's bad. Like I was alone enough just as a cruise worker when I first got on board. I didn't know anybody, of course, you know, I'm by myself, young girl, and, you know, you can make friends fast, but they're not the right kind of friends, you know, so you're by yourself. And I was like, you know, here I am in these most gorgeous ports of my life, and I'm completely by myself. Like, there is something really missing when you can't, like, at least rub elbows, even with someone you only kind of like just as like, hey, you're a person. All right, look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Right.
It is. Let's go grab a drink. Great. You know, like, there is something so sad about being completely by yourself for that amount of time, especially for 7 days, and you're around couples and families, and like, so you're trying to eat dinner, and you're like really like,
but that's
stick
not a
it out like
singles
a
cruise.
no.
Oh,
but
right.
I'm
Regular
saying
cruise.
I would never book just a solo by myself trip. People do that now.
I've traveled by myself a lot. I've been to Europe by myself.
That's different than a cruise, though.
Correct. I agree. I'm a bit of an introvert, too. But the thing about traveling by myself is I've used this analogy, I feel like a bubble around a waterfall. So there's a lot of frenetic activity or whatever, and I can kind of float and do what I want and not have to engage if I don't want to. That kind of appeals to me. But you're right, on a boat
On a
where
cruise,
it's just, you don't want to be stuck in the corner.
Everything is for couples I mean, they even like really design it for couples, like two in a room and all that jazz. And they
really are. It's cost effective.
Right. And they are doing solo cabins now. They are like opening up to this whole solo thing. But even that, it's like, man, these people aren't getting together. When you come with us, we actually do all the activities. We make sure you eat together. Like, for instance, I should have brought the itinerary. I have it in the car. For this cruise that's coming up on Sunday, we're going out a Valentine's Day cruise, and basically we have, a get-together on deck with all the singles at a certain time. We give them cute little bracelets that sort of signify nicely that they're part of the group so that they can sort of check out who else is part of the group. And then we get together for cocktails before dinner, and then we go to, and we have tables that I arranged for us to sit at. And that sort of like starts the whole ball rolling, so to speak,
The most popular activity usually on a cruise is what?
For the singles, it's dance classes with me. And cocktail parties. Also with me.
So people dance classes is
yeah,
something.
they really love that. That's something I really love teaching, to teach them merengue and salsa and cha-cha. And people really get out of their shells. It's another thing that they don't usually do, like somewhere on land. I know they have like a Fred Astaire studio here, but it's a bunch of money and it's like a real commitment.
Right.
And you're with these like designer dancers, very intimidating. Me, I'm also a fitness instructor, so I teach you the steps, how not to step on other people's feet. Yeah. And we do some fun stuff, and we make you laugh, and we have a laugh. It's a great time.
The most popular non-domestic port of cruises, is it like Cozumel? Where do most boats go?
Yeah. Well, if you're coming out of Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, if you're coming out of anywhere on the East Coast. Nassau.
That
seems like it's an hour away.
It is like an hour.
That's not much of a cruise.
No,
that's like a day.
that's just
that's
telling it's the most popular.
Oh.
Is the most popular port. In fact, this one. So usually nowadays and especially because of COVID, they're doing Nassau and one of their private islands, because Nassau basically is filled with cruise ship private islands that they've sort of purchased, rented, whatever. So still Bahamas, but and then Cozumel is definitely the most popular Mexican port out of this coast.
And what's the furthest that you can go out of Florida on a cruise? Can you go to South America?
Yeah, you can. I mean, don't quote me on this. You can definitely do transatlantics. I don't have any interest in going that far that way, so I don't really look into those cruises. Plus, there's so many sea days for what we do for travelfun.biz. We don't really get into that, but you can go really far. Actually, there's times. God, I'm trying to think from Florida. I've seen people go.
Do they have those around the world ones from here?
They do have around the world ones. I'm sure that they start.
Those are mostly seniors, though.
Yeah, I mean, who has the time?
They don't have to work.
Yeah, who has the time? They have the around the world cruises, but just like going from here transatlantic, I know they go even Alaska. I mean, they can go a long way.
Now, a lot of people, which is not a good thing, are not returning to the office, and they are working. Some people are like, I'm going to get an Airbnb in Hawaii because I don't have to go in the office and I have high-speed internet. It doesn't matter where I am. Is the internet on the boats good enough?
Oh, that's a great question. Nowadays, absolutely. They have, most of the times now, they're starting to include Wi-Fi. So you can text and things like that. But if you just want to pay a couple bucks and you upgrade to streaming,
they have the whole thing.
They've got that pretty well mapped out. I can really work on a ship now. Whereas I never was not able to 5 years ago.
Yeah, which is both good and bad. I mean, it's bad that you shouldn't be working, but it's good that if you're like, I can go on a cruise because I can work for 2 days, or I can show up in a meeting. Like, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's got its pros and cons. I mean, I would love, I'm pretty nostalgic and old fashioned. So if it was my choice, I would be like, no Wi-Fi on ship, shut it down, people. But,
How do you, speaking of pros and cons, how do you tell both the men and the women that, let's just say you're on a 5-day cruise, pace yourself, don't be so aggressive night one, don't overdo it. You shouldn't treat it like a weekend in Vegas, but some people are like, oh my God, I only got 5 days. I'm going to get drunk and make out with everybody in the bar right now.
Well, that's great. That's a great question too. I will always say the 3-night cruises is always like a whirlwind. It's just like, open up the doors to the cocktail party and they're like, I love you, man. No, it's just, there is just no drama. And there's a lot of drama in the same breath. As far as telling people to slow down, I would say majority of people always go too fast, too hard, too quickly. Anyway, there's nothing to change about that. That's excitement. The first night, they're excited, they're tired. The second night, they all go for it. They get dressed up. They're excited. They drink too much. They make poor decisions. And
are bars, discos, whatever, are they 24 hours on boats?
No. Every boat's a little different depending upon the cruise line. But most of them aren't up. Usually they don't have the disco up much later till 1 or 2. But I would say
it's International law,
It is.
right?
It's nothing about that. It's really
well,
just
I mean,
about
you can drink it at 18-year-old drinking age or no?
No. The ships have changed that a lot. Most of the ships have changed it to 21. Not all, and it depends. They have all these like little side rules. If you're with your parents and it's in Europe and they sign something, then you can drink it not 18.
Right.
And then some ships, cruise lines, I would say like Carnival's more conservative actually because they have such a problem with the over drinking, whereas like Princess doesn't have to be so conservative because they don't have the problem. You know, it depends on the clientele and the amount of kids. And again, Carnival, lots of younger people. And then you have the other cruise lines a little bit older.
Spend more, the better boat is worth it.
Okay.
Is that because there's all sorts?
Yeah, this is definitely a personal decision. I personally, I mean, listen, you can't knock Carnival's value with a stick. You really can't. You just can't. Like, you can't beat it with a stick. It's just, it's amazing. However, I've also have some insane stories, and I have your podcast on our website, by the way, and I have one of my crazy podcasts on there too. But I where I go into this story, and I won't get into it here, but you'll have to go to travelfund.biz and check podcasts. But you know, it can get a little nasty with the clientele and what they do and how ridiculous it gets.
So the clientele is the very thing. The rooms are the very thing. The activities, or is it boat to boat?
No, they're all different. I mean, the more you pay, the better quality you're going to get. The cheaper it is, the cheaper the accommodations. The older, you'll find areas that just aren't as I wouldn't even say clean.
Yeah,
used is what I want to say.
Are all boats all you can drink?
No. Carnival, by the way, has a 15 drink limit on your all you can drink, and you can't buy any more. 15 drinks a day, that is it.
A day?
A day.
Well, that should be it.
It should be it, but I'm telling you, it's including sodas and stuff. And honestly, like,
oh, really?
Some of my big guys that are like
15 iced teas a day.
250-pound guys that are like that.
Well, it's hot. Can you you can't say I'm hydrating?
They are pretty strict about it.
That's still a drink an hour.
I'm just saying these guys are. Some of my guys are big guys.
So
I certainly couldn't.
Is there negotiation? Like, hey, I'm out. Can you go drink? Put these on your tab.
They would never ask me that. I'm
15 drinks a day, and it doesn't matter if it's alcohol.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous because they should determine what the.
I
drinks
agree.
Are. You should get like 10 and 5.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but that is the only cruise line I know. Excuse me, that has an actual drink limit. And like it's a real limit. Like they are like serious. Security will come and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
And there's you can't carry it over. You're like, I only had 8 yesterday. I can have 22 today. No.
No, it's a 24-hour thing.
And they wait till 6 a.m. They can start again.
Oh, I'm telling you, you would not believe. Like honestly, you'd be surprised how much people can drink when they're practiced at it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, they're on vacation. They're still standing. They're not making bad choices. Like
I know.
Like
people really are like because a lot of people they get 2 weeks a year.
Yeah.
To get out of their lives, jobs, whatever, and go crazy. And they're like, I don't want to miss a second. And they really do overdo it too quickly. And then they have 2 fun days and 5 terrible days trying to recover,
Something like that. You asked me, what would I tell them to slow down? I wouldn't tell anyone to slow down because there's just so much excitement. What the hell? Just do your thing. Try to make good decisions if you can. Have a friend watch out for you. But, nothing really that bad happens.
Is the best place to meet something. If you take the bars out of it, taking a class, limbo. What are we doing here?
Definitely any of the they have like cute little shows, game shows, interactive, anything that the cruise director staff is part of is usually like super interactive and fun. You always meet someone there. The Name That Tunes are a great place to meet people. Mm-hmm. They just have, it's really old fashioned, but piano and Name That Tune and the bars there. And I see a lot of people. Yes, of course. Karaoke. Absolutely. I'm always there for that.
There is no I in karaoke.
Do you karaoke?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I love karaoke. I think karaoke's fun because it's one of those things. If you do it badly, it's fun. If you do it well, it's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
I'm very pro karaoke.
Oh, me too.
I've been to karaoke weddings. They're awesome. It's like Uncle Joe sings Dancing Queen, and it's just a better time.
I love it. We got to get you on
It's all good.
The
I like
live
band karaoke's fun.
That is one of my favorites.
It's actually. I'm very pro karaoke.
Yep. That's a great place to meet people. Yes,
it is because there's a camaraderie in the room for karaoke that's really, really good. So let's just say a boat has various ports. They stop and they get off. How many people does everybody get off the boat? Or some people are like, I'm going to stick around on the boat. I don't really care to go into town.
So again, this is very dependent on the price of the cruise, the traveler itself, the port itself, how long it is. If it's just a short